Bri, real quick. So, 3 days left, huh? I don't know. Hey everybody, it's Jack from Atlantis Water Gardens. I'm here with my good friend Brian Helfrich from Team Aquascape, back for part 4 of what we're hoping is the final video for this pond here in Valencia, Spain.
It's awesome that you've got all that hope in you. I think there might be a 5th. I think there might be a part 5. There's a really,
I'm afraid you
real
might be right.
Good opportunity for part 5.
We've never not finished a project.
Ever. This
is looking like that might be a reality.
But, you know, you saw in part 1, 2, and 3 some of the obstacles that we were facing, and we've never had those types of obstacles either.
We've had every monkey wrench thrown at us, and we're doing well. We've got the best team in the world with Chris and Ralph here, and we're doing everything we possibly can to make this successful this time around.
I think today is really going to set the pace for the rest of the week. No, we looked at it last night, and there is a possibility. It would be a Christmas miracle, but there is a possibility.
We would need 4 more people like us to make it a reality.
Let's just say there's a possibility.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility for a meteor to hit us too. We don't have to worry about it.
So we have 2 obstacles today. One is we have one piece of equipment and it's not as strong as the other 2 pieces of equipment over there. So we're somewhat limited on what rocks we can actually move. The second thing is we've only got this chunky stuff left. And we really want to start incorporating some of that craggy stuff that we worked with way back last week in through all this. And that's not coming till tomorrow. So it's going to be hard to really focus on some of these areas in here where we really want to incorporate that. So we're going to put our attention over in here. I think if we can get like the bridge area kind of set, Jack, I think we might be able to get some lower rocks down in through here. We can kind of figure out the liner situation for our intake bay over in this area, even get some key rocks kind of set in and around here where you don't have to reach out real far. So if we can get some key boulders set in here where we can come back on Monday when the rest of that craggy stuff comes and then really start decorating this thing up with that nice stuff, I think we'll be in good shape.
Right, even though we don't have all the rock we need, we do have one thing. Great attitude.
Yeah!
That's a pretty close representation of the plan. Brian and Chris worked on getting the intake bay started. We've got the bridge going across. That's going to be fed off the end of the deck here, which is stepping around some stepping stones out to that bridge, continuing on, and then we've got the stepping stones that are going through the wetland filter. We've got our gravel installed in the bottom, and it looks fantastic. That black small pebble in there is a look you've probably never seen before, because I've never seen it before. Really makes all the boulders pop. And then we did touches of the cobble on the outside just to give it some interest down in the bottom.
So we got our bridge set. One of the key things when setting the bridge is to make sure you understand where the water level is in your pond. So with that laser transit, we came in here and the water level is going to sit right about here. We always want that little air gap between the bottom of the bridge and the top of the water. If the water were to come all the way up to here, what would happen is all that wind-blown debris that falls on the surface of the pond would just sit. There's no way it would pull back into our intake bay over here. So if it sits, then it just gets waterlogged and falls on the bottom of our pretty black stone on the bottom. With that little air gap, all of that water will rip underneath this bridge back into our intake bay where we can easily clean it out with a net. The other thing we did, and I don't know if you guys can see this from here, but it's not super complicated. We just built this up with cinder blocks. So we shot our water level, made sure our cinder blocks were nice and level. Luckily, we had a pretty flat bridge that we could work with. We set the top of that 2 inches, 3 inches above our water level, making sure that our bridge then sits right on top.
We've got tons of exciting stuff going on today. This pond is getting 100% finished, the inside of it, because water trucks are rolling. We've already dumped about 2,400 gallons inside our wetland filter. Now we're gonna start filling this pond up. That means we have to go around and do all of our finish work. Got a little bit of work to do over where the pond meets the wetland filter. We gotta finish tightening all this intake bay up. We gotta hide that block and everything. And then back in here, there's still a little bit of rock work to do before this is finished.
So when setting up your intake bay, we want to make sure that the top of these aqua blocks sits no less than 12 inches or no more than 12 inches below the surface of your water level. The reason we do that is so when that windblown debris comes in here, you'll see it, it'll just kind of circle around like this. The easiest way to clean it is just take a net, scoop it out. If that water level were to sit right around here, it becomes very challenging to get that net in there and scoop it out. That net's constantly dragging across the bottom of that gravel floor. When that water level's up here, it's really easy to scoop that stuff out.
Today is our last full construction day out here in Spain. We're on our 5th load of water. That's gonna be about like 13,000 gallons. We've got quite a few more trucks coming. This system is gonna hold upwards of 25,000+ gallons. Most of the rock work is done around the pond. We're gonna focus on the wetland filter this morning and also the start of our waterfalls. As the pond fills, you can see just how fantastic all this rock work looks coming out from the water surface. We've got some finishing to do over here before we enter our intake bay. The bridge looks fantastic, and Chris and the boys did a great job inside here. That wall inside the pond is going to be one of my favorite spots once the deck is installed. We got stepping stones going through our constructed wetland filter. Nice and informal, but they are going to be so cool with a foot of water below them. Great place for the kids to hang out and play. There'll be fish swimming through here. It's going to be incredible. We started with one waterfall last night. That is our spillway right in the middle, framed out with these gorgeous weathered limestone boulders. The idea now is to start doing some layering. We want to bring some rocks out in front, create probably like 3 or 4 different areas where cascades come down, and then we'll go up one layer behind this. So it's going to be a total of like 3+ feet of elevation from the start of the waterfall down into where the wetland is. We're going to be going like gangbusters this morning to get this buttoned up at least above water level, because those trucks are not stopping. We want to see this pond full of water today. We've got one variable that might be a problem for us, and that is our power is not hooked up. The electrician supposedly is coming today. He tried pushing off till Friday last night and says like, no way, I need you out here today to hook this thing up. This is 3-phase power, 230 volts. Not what we use in the States. We use 110 in the States, single phase. So this is some heavy power, but it's going to be a very efficient power when you're running these pumps.
So this has been such an awesome experience, especially doing it with my dear friends. To be in Spain, to overcome all of these challenges has been part of what makes this such a great experience. The downside is kind of getting close to the finish line of when we have to roll out of here, and we're not going to see it 100% done. And Jack said I'm not invited back, so I guess I'm going to have to watch the video with you guys to see it up and running.
Of course I invited him back, but he's bailing on me.
I've got a business to run.
He's
man.
got a business to run. Oh, same old excuse.